All right, what I want to do is, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do ahead of time because the machine's going to be loud, it's going to be hard to hear me. I've already adjusted this machine. I've got an OCV meter set up here, and I'm going to show you what the OCVs are. And what you do, you adjust it back here, and you can change that. And you can tell where the settings are, so you have a reference point by watching this on the meter. You can go up, you can go down, and then you want to go and weld on a piece of plate. That's what I did the other day. I welded for about 2 hours. Different heat settings, different ranges, and I took pictures of those. And that's how you can tell. Take pictures of the welds you make when you do different adjustments, and that's going to show you. You'll be able to look at that weld and know where the sweet spot is. This one's too much, this one's too little too thick. Maybe it stacks good, but the cap's not pretty because it's not what we call wet enough. And so if you go to buy a welding machine, you want to do some things. You want to check the fuel, see if the fuel's dirty, if the tank's dirty. You want to check the radiator fluid. Does it look bad? You want to check the oil. Does the oil have water in it when you feel it? You want to look at this rain cap up here on top of the exhaust. Look under it. And if it's burning oil, there'll be some soot there, carbon, especially when it idles, but there shouldn't be any oil residue. And then when you crank it up, you'll have a little black blowout all the time, a little bit of carbon, because it idles. That's nothing. But you don't want to see any blue smoke coming out. And it may burn oil, but how are you going to know that just there for a little while? So you watch for those things. You want to look at these brushes. You want to see if they're worn. Are they wearing sideways? That can be because the springs that hold them in are too soft. It could be because the shaft's wobbly. And that's not a good thing. So you want to check the brushes here and the main armature brushes. And that's going to give you a very good idea. But then you want to crank it up. And if you want to check the OCVs with your meter, you have to put it on high idle. Whatever range doesn't really matter so much. But you want this rheostat wide open on high idle. And that's when it's going to read accurate. If it's not on high idle, you don't have the rheostat turned up, you're going to get a bogus read. And it should be somewhere on these machines, 93, should come down 91, 88, 89, depending on where you want to set it, somewhere in there. And the voltage, this is the side that controls your voltage. If I'm on 190 and 100, then I got 100% of what this is. We call it points, but really this is a percentage, 100% if I get on 100 of whatever range I set it in. And this controls the voltage. You got open circuit volts, but open circuit volts are when it's just idling. When it's under a load, those volts should come down to 25, 26, 27, 28 if you put a meter on it. That's kind of the sweet spot in welding. And a welding machine, if you buy it, needs to have at least 50 open circuit volts. If you buy a little electric machine or any kind of machine, to have enough drive when you actually weld, you actually need to be up in that 60 to 70 range. If you buy one of these Trailblazers or Bobcats or Rangers, they do pretty good, especially if you're just learning to weld.